welcome to the first of our 1/200th scale HMS hood builds. This is the Trumpeter kit, and we're going to be using the Pontos full detail set for the kit as well. I've already had a look on video at the set, so that's, if you want to have a look at what's in this box, have a look at the video. It's the links down below at this point. So a build like this needs plenty of planning, and we've already had a look at some references. So what we'll be using on the build is, first of all, this reference, which is the Battlecruiser HMS Hood by Bruce Taylor. It's got loads of photographs, crammed with photos, and obviously a history of the ship as well. If you're interested, I think most people that are building a model like this will be interested in the history of the ship as well. So it has lots of illustrations. These are the CAD drawings by Thomas Schmidt, but also lots of invaluable references, detailed photographs, obviously taking care to note the time that the photographs were taken. The ship did alter a lot during its career, with refits and rebuilds and so on. That's more easy to get a grip of in this volume, which is the Anatomy of the Ship by John Roberts. This is the revised edition. So the main value of this, there's not too many photographs in this one, but the main value is in the line drawings. So drawings of the deck arrangement of the ship, so that's all decks. Obviously there's several of them that we're not going to be interested in for this particular build. The other value of it is in some of the excellent drawings, detailed drawings for some of the fittings and equipment and armament on the ship in the volume. So on this one, for example, is the detailed drawing of the quad Vickers installation there. Lots of other ones about drawings of the hatches, all invaluable references, so we'll be using that quite a bit. As I said, we've already been into the Pontos detail set. We'll pick up that as we go along. One of the other things that I've done, so a model build like this needs plenty of planning. So I've had the instructions out in combination with the Pontos instructions. I made brief reference to those in the other video about the Pontos set. They do need an awful lot of deciphering, so we're going to have to work carefully along. We're going to have to work carefully as we go along with that. So another reference that we'll be using a lot in this build is from the HMS Hood Association website. There's lots of references in that. There's other builds, including of the Trumpeter hood, but it does advise a number of corrections to this kit. There are something like, I think there are 46 recommended amendments to the model. Yeah, 46. And I've just written those down in a table so that as those are completed, they can be crossed off. So one of the things that we're going to have to take care of as we're building the model is some sort of protection, and I'll be building a cover for the model. It's something like 1.3 meters long, so it's going to take up a table of its own during the build. So that will have a cover made to basically fit over the table and keep the hull clean underneath as construction takes place. Obviously the details as they go on are very delicate, so we don't want to be catching and knocking those as we're brushing by. So I think a cover's a sensible plan. So one of the first things that we're going to be doing is tackling the hull. This is a one-piece moulding from Trumpeter. but it does have some issues. Obviously there is a seam line all the way underneath with some sprue gates as well that are going to need cleaning off. That's not too much of a job really, that should be fairly easy to do. The big issue with the hull is probably the degaussing coil, which you can see running along the aft side of the ship here. It actually goes fore and aft all the way, and it's just a single strip moulding by Trumpeter. In actual fact, the degaussing coil on the ship was a lot more complicated than that. It ran as a double coil for quite a bit of the vessel, and then changed into a single coil towards the back of the ship. Trumpeter also mould the coil incorrectly with a dip on both sides of the hull, and actually the photographic evidence suggests that it only did that on one side, so that's going to need fixing. The other thing that we'll be tackling while we're building the hull is the rear hawse pipe for the aft anchor isn't present. The hole in the deck is, but there's no exit for the anchor at the tail end of the ship. Similarly, at the front of the ship, we're going to have to correct these plates for the which lifted the degaussing coil over the hawse pipe exits on both sides of the ship are re-provided in the Pontos set, so they're going to have to be taken off. Apart from that, the interior is strengthened with some braces, some bulkheads basically, that run all the way through the ship, so there's 7 or 8 of those to fit in. What I'm not quite sure about whether we'll be tackling is the armour plate, which it's a little bit deep, I think. I'll have a look at what that's going to take to fix. It might actually be, I'm not sure really whether to tackle that. When it's compared with some photographs of the ship, it does look a little bit heavy. Whether it'll do that under a coat of primer, whether it'll look like that under a coat of paint, I'm not sure. We'll have a think about that. There is also a suggestion that some of the portholes are in the wrong position, but using the anatomy of the ship book, we'll just check on that just to make sure, and if any do need correcting, it's a simple enough job to fill them and to re-drill them. So that's the hull. One of the other things that I haven't quite decided how to tackle is how to mount the model. I'm thinking at the moment that we're probably going to be using some pedestals, which I'll be turning some wooden pedestals to match the eventual base unit for the model. So, but we'll come back to that. That's going to need drilling out and some captive nuts placing in before the decks go in. So I'm going to have to make a decision about that pretty soon. So that's it for this one. That's all the planning, research done with no more excuses. We're going to have to get on with it now. And as I said, we'll be kicking that off next week probably. It's a winter project. I think it's going to be maybe 4 or 5 months, and I am a slow builder, so be prepared if you want to follow the build. So if you want to follow the build, please do that. I'd like to have you along with me. It's a long process, and I probably need a bit of encouragement along the way. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching this one, and as I say, we'll pick up next week with getting some glue out. Okay, bye for now.